Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun, looking at charts, taking requests, and doing it live. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, if you like the content I put out, make sure you like the videos, share your thoughts in the comments below, and also chat with me in the live chat. I do live streams every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm probably also going to be doing another night, either Wednesday or Thursday each week. In this coming week, I will be doing some extra live streams. So make sure you tune in. I try to put out 4 videos a day, but realistically, it ends up being between 2 and 4, occasionally 1 a day. But yeah, just like to go over the charts. I like to take ticker requests. I learn about a lot of new companies and some great charts through taking requests. But I try to do follow-ups on tickers. Like I just recently did a PayPal one, A, because that was requested a lot, and B, that's just kind of, one of the routine tickers that I go over. And there are a handful that I do. And actually tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream going over or potentially I'll be doing a live stream. I put out this poll thinking about organizing a schedule for routine coverage of specific stocks each day. And I'm just curious if that's of interest to you guys. I've gotten 1 vote for yes, and I should live stream it for input. And so I am probably going to live stream this tomorrow, Monday, January 15th. Don't know what time exactly, but happy to take input. So comment on this stream if you're watching it after the fact, whatever. Comment on the video or, go to this poll. It's on the community page of the channel. Just scroll down a little bit and you can vote. And yeah, I just kind of want to put together like a calendar, and I'll probably revise it every month of just, which days should I focus on specific stocks. And I think, PayPal will probably be a Saturday stock. AMC's a Friday one. And, I just want to organize that so you guys can expect, specific tickers, routine coverage. But then I'll also have room in there for taking requests or doing, whatever stock is, appealing for the day. But, anyways, on that note, I'm going to switch back over to the charts, start looking at some of them, having some fun. This is a casual stream, so happy to have you here. It is casual fun that we're partaking in over here. And I should note, I hope you're all staying warm. It's been really cold where I'm at, and yeah, that's why I'm sweatered up. It's pretty frigid outside. It's even frigid inside. But yeah, I have American Airlines here just because it's at the top of the Degen Ed list, that AAL. Yeah, and it looks like it kind of tanked on Friday, down nearly 10%. And this is actually like really validating for me because I have seen all of these gaps to the downside. I'm just expecting it to go down. And I had actually bought some puts up here. I think I did lose a little bit of money on one, or maybe a group of them I had kind of built up. But then one of them just closed out on Friday based on this big move. And I didn't lose money on that one, so that's good. But yeah, I recognize that it's kind of, overbought up here. We can see that even in the RSI. It's 76, and then this is just, the RSI has been going down here. Price has been more or less flat between these two peaks. Let's see, what was the difference? The high over here was 1467. Yeah, this is crazy. 1467 high on December 15th. And then on this day, January 8th, which was Monday, I guess, high of 1467. So yeah, that is like a weak bearish divergence where you have, actually, I'm not sure if that's where it's basically like these aren't going the same, and so you have lower highs forming in the RSI, but it's flat in the stock price as far as the highs go, and so I believe that would still be weak bearish divergence. Yeah, and it looks like I think I don't know that it's going to fill all of these gaps. I've realized, I kind of get left behind waiting for gaps to be filled. And actually that kind of brings up a point. I'm probably going to do a Palantir video tomorrow. That's so far that's the most viewed video, over 1,000 views, so it's pretty cool. But I was actually chatting with some people on Twitter today about Palantir, and basically, I have been calling for this gap to be filled, and we're, gotten more than halfway down to filling it. But there is a possibility that we don't fill it. Like, let's see, I need to adjust the axis. There's this gap down here to $8. It's quite possible that will never be filled. And in this discussion of Palantir, I referred to Tesla and how if we look back in the chart, have to go back a little ways. I think it was actually 17. Yeah, there's this gap right here. To fill that would be coming down to about $17. That gap's never being filled. So, yeah, I mean, prices, over 200, likely never going back down there. So yeah, with Palantir, I'm thinking about, how I want to go over this video, because I had noticed, these kind of month-long arches in the stock price returning to the level, this orange level. And now that we've gotten to this red line, basically, I feel like it will be returning to that red line by the end of the month. And so I've been trying to gauge, am I waiting for this bottom? And I picked up a share around, I think, 15.98. I'm not sure. And, I was thinking, oh, well, if it goes up to 17.21, trim that position, sell it. It's one share. And then wait for it to come back down. But maybe it doesn't come back down. Maybe it doesn't go below 16 again. Maybe this gap never gets filled. And also a couple of things that were pointed out on Twitter. One, and this is just for me, kind of seeing what other people were posting, doing this Fibonacci retracement. This red line that I'd drawn there at 16 coincides almost perfectly with this 786 Fibonacci retracement. And so I think that is pretty compelling, that this, excuse me, could be a bottom, or that we saw here. Maybe we get another retest of 16, but we might not be going lower than that. And then another thing that was pointed out is basically that we have this, let's see, how am I going to draw this? Maybe I'll do it from the high over here just so we get some those wicks to be crossing this. It looks like we have a falling wedge here. And so this, is a bullish wedge. And it's possible that we're at the level of breaking out of it. Possible we could test the bottom again. But, yeah. So I think it's a good thing to be holding. And, like I said, I have a very small position, just one share. And so if it does dip and if it does fill this gap, I shouldn't think of that, I want to trim up here so I can then buy back down here. And it's like, it's such a small position. I just hold it. And then if it does come down there, I shouldn't be afraid of the gap being filled. I should view that as a gift. And that's really, the best way to think about when prices go down. You want to be in a position where you can think of it as a gift. You can think of it as a sale and pick up shares at a discount. But if you get too big of a position, you start to panic. You don't think of it as a sale. You think of it as, it's never ending. It's not going to stop going down. That's not good. So, yeah. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go over this chart in a video. I'm gonna adjust some of these lines. And, I think it should be a really nice video. Useful. Yeah, hopefully it gets another 1,000 views. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm happy to take any ticker requests. I see that nobody's watching, maybe because tomorrow is a holiday. By the way, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day tomorrow. My job, unfortunately, is not observing it, but I'm taking the day off. And yeah, so I I'll be making videos tomorrow and probably doing this live stream on the schedule for the channel. And so yeah, and just getting ready for the week. And I was thinking about maybe I should do this stream on Monday, tomorrow night, the night before the market opens. But I just want to get into the routine of Sunday nights doing these streams because it's been a while. I've done them on Mondays a lot lately. Um, but yeah, oh, one thing that was pretty crazy. I had just made a video on uranium and pointing out. I think I've got to look at it on the weekly time frame, pointing out this massive cup and handle, and how Gareth Soloway was going over how it looks like here there's this cup, and we need to see some downtrending consolidation here. That would be the handle. But I actually saw it as, this is really the handle. We've already kind of broken out this white downtrending line. I think to see that, oh, no, you can see it here on the weekly. Comes back to this point, going back to 2012. This orange one comes back to 2014. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty significant, this breakout. And, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about uranium. I had, you look at this in the shorter time frame. You look at this, let's say, on the daily. And, it's like you don't really see this cup or this handle pattern very well on the daily. But you look at this on the weekly, and that picture becomes a little clearer. And yeah, and it's like you don't really need that many lines to get an idea of this. UTSL. Yeah, I'll take a look at UTSL. Bull 3TX. Utilities. Oh, so that would be like basically it's frigid cold right now, so everybody's utility bills are going up. Is that what this would be? I'm going to put this on the DGen Ed list. Open that up. UTLS. This is at the bottom here. Let's look at the profile. Hopefully I'm not blocking it. Let's see. The investment seeks daily investment results before fees and expenses of 300% of the daily performance of the utilities select sector index. The fund invests at least 80% of its net assets plus borrowing for investment purposes in financial instruments such as swap agreements, securities of index. This is all includes. So I think this might be covered up by me, but the index includes domestic companies from the utilities sector, which includes the following industries: electric utilities, multi-utilities, water utilities, etc. The fund is non-diversified. And so this is actually a really cool suggestion because I think, with natural gas, there's been a lot of interest because of, the winter storms that we've had, the cold fronts, the polar vortex, stuff like that. But like I showed in the natural gas video today, that actually in a couple weeks we're supposed to get above average or normal temperatures throughout the U.S. And I didn't finish saying country. That was a bad shame on me. I need to finish saying that word when I say it. Yeah, but natural gas, there are so many factors in it. It's not just weather. Whereas utilities, I would think that this is more directly related to the weather because I know, for example, my utility bill's always higher in the winter. 2095. Let's see, this is the weekly time frame. Yeah, I think, and actually, just like how here there's this uptrending prices breaks down, and so that's what I feel like is happening here. And this, yeah, it's almost like looks pretty similar like with the RSI here. That's going up as well, and you get this little blip, and then it goes down. And so here it's like blip goes down, another blip goes down. Yeah, so this doesn't look too strong, although it could be. I wonder if there's something like this, but that's just a couple touch points, so it's not really. I guess it does bounce off here. Or maybe, something more like, yeah, and then that'd be like resistance though. But I find that more compelling than this. Yeah, because that's like, you adjust the line so it looks like there's a breakout, but really, I mean, this has, adjust it a little bit here, multiple touch points, and, near touch point here. And so, yeah, I think that this looks like it's not looking so good. Yeah, I was expecting this to be, I don't know, looking stronger. Let's see if we look at it on the weekly time frame. I don't think there's going to be any analysts on this. Comments, we can look at what people are saying about this. Better put a decent price on this call I just bought, or I'm executing it. Leaps, this dead cat is about to bounce. Let's see, divergence on the weekly chart. This person doesn't draw very good. Looking at it on the weekly, I don't really see what they're talking about. But yeah, this looks like it's not looking so great. I don't know, unless there's something that I'm missing. Maybe I'll put up the volume profile. Yeah, I mean, it's just getting into, this is, I guess it's at a level where there's less consolidation there. Are there like corporate actions or anything? It's interest, moving averages. Yeah, I don't know. This one seems like, I guess there's like, to me, there's not like a clear breakout or anything. So I would just think that this is going to roll over and come back down. Maybe if it would come back down to like $14, that would suggest maybe, and it stopped there, that this is a double bottom. So I might put an alert there, $14. That's what I would think, that this doesn't look too strong. I guess this is the weekly. What was the high for this week? 24.24. So I guess I'd say I'd put an alert at like 25. If that's breaking out. Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, it's like, this is not something I like pay attention to, but alert at $25, alert at 14. And for me, it's like, if it hits 25, that would be like a signal to like assess, is this actually breaking out, or is it a potential fake out? Because maybe you just get a wick up to 25, sets off the alert, but then it closes below. And it's like, yeah, that's not really that intriguing. But if you see like a pretty strong candle go up to 25, close above it, I would just think that's a psychological level. Or, I mean, you could do it, based on the high here, which is, I think, 24.24. I mean, yeah, maybe I'll adjust this to 24.24, just, or maybe 24.25. Oops, because then it's a cent above that high. But yeah, and then if it were to come down to 14, then that's like, look at it and assess if it's either bouncing like it did here. Yeah, I mean, because this, even though this doesn't look really that strong moving up, it just looks like, what happened over here. But both of these had these big wicks coming down. This is, also on the weekly. So maybe, yeah, this, wicks down, and this is like a double bottom there. And then let's see over here. You don't see this big wick down, but you do see, the open down here and the close well above that, closing well above this close. Although then you see this close going lower. So what uranium ETF was I looking at? That was URA. This is the one that I think is like, if you're just generally interested in uranium, And so like I feel like for me, I don't hold uranium. I got into NXE, I believe. I'll pull that up in a second. Actually, I can switch over. I have a little tab for uranium stocks. So yeah, URA, and then there's also NXE. This is what I hold. I just was exposed to it first, and like looking at the charts, it doesn't have as much history as URA. So like this white line basically is kind of like mimicking this one, which goes back to 2012, I believe. And UEC, this is Uranium Energy Corporation, I believe, and then this is NXE is Next Gen Energy. Neither of these have as much history as URA, but the charts look very similar. Like I went over this in the uranium video, but that you have like these peaks here around the end of October, beginning of November, peak here in April. This is 2021, 2022. Same thing here. You've got these peaks around that same time. And, while they don't all hit the same points exactly, they're not all proportional, but you do have, the same kind of peaks here in the URA chart. And so, this, to me is just like, well, it's $30 a share versus these around $7-8. But I think that, basically the video that I made, I was looking at this thinking, well, I mean, we're consolidating just below this level. Either we're going to close the week at it again, and it's just going to eventually fade and maybe become weak. We get a breakdown, or we get a pop. 7% up on the day. NXE 11%. UEC 12%. So this is actually the better one to hold in that sense. But I just found, like, looking at the charts, I mean, any of these are probably going to perform pretty similarly. But I just found NXE to be a little more similar to URA, so just easier to compare. Like this, this one just seems like it's a little more volatile, and that kind of explains, the reason why you get this 12% on the day versus URA only having 7. NXE is, between those closer to 12, but it just looks a little less volatile than this one. And so that's, good for just, holding long term, not sweating it and stuff. Yeah, I'll look back at the UTSL chart. If it's UTSL, yep. Yeah, so where was it last year? That's a good call. It's the beginning of 2023. So yeah, I mean that's actually really interesting. This part that I was pointing out, that reminds me of what we're going through now. This low was middle of October. This low, I have no idea, beginning of October. And then this high here, December 16th. Let's see where this wick up is. December 15th. Yeah, good call. So oddly, I think that's probably like preemptive. It's like, buy the rumor, sell the news. That, we're in the fall now. It's going to be winter soon. This is going to be worth more because people are going to be running their energy bills up in the winter. And actually this is 2022, sorry. So if I look at it in 2023, where is that? Wait, no, yeah, so that would be 2022 because this is looking at October 2023. It's tough with the year change. But yeah, and also I think too that this is interesting. This does look kind of like, bullish consolidation here, but you're also looking at that retesting this downtrend or testing the downtrend, which really, I guess, didn't exist before. That's maybe it doesn't work there. But yeah, I think, probably like in preparation for like the spring months when people aren't going to be running their energy bills up that much, that this is going to start to come down like in the summer. Yeah, like March, And actually, I guess, and I like the transitioning seasons and like the spring, it looks like it's coming down, winter into spring, but then getting into the summer, like spring into summer, it's going up, and then people are just running their ACs in the summer. Glad you like the PayPal video. Yeah, that's a stock that I'll be, I think, just like probably doing every Saturday. There are some that it's just nice to do weekly, and that one everybody seems to like. It gets good views and stuff. And yeah, I am doing a BIGC video tomorrow. I have not forgotten about that, but I can go over it now. I haven't really looked at it too much. I kind of wanted to do that more than the other one that I did today, the medical one. I forget the ticker name. It just the chart that I went over today just didn't seem as interesting. But after looking into it, it seemed a little more intrigued by it. Okay, and I guess I don't have it on this list. I have it on the daily list, maybe. Yeah. Um, oh, well, actually, yeah, this is on the weekly. Um, hmm. Or maybe this was the one that didn't seem that interesting. I'm not sure. Let's see. This to me, oh yeah, I think what I saw, looking at it briefly, this to me looks like a bear flag. Um, but I could be wrong. I feel like whenever I call bull or bear flag, um, it tends to go the other way. Um, but let's see. Hmm. I guess like from here to here, prices below that. Um, what could be a support? Yeah, and also, yeah, you look at that volume profile. It's like getting pretty close to the edge of where all of this consolidation is, like just at the bottom of that. Like, um, it's kind of tough. So it's like, hopefully the green doesn't obscure it too much. But yeah, it's like there's all of this volume traded like down to here, and then you only have this little bit below it. And so, yeah, 840. Yeah, so it seems a little precarious. Um, and also, too, thinking about RSI, it's 38.98, so this could definitely drop more. Hmm. And maybe this will be something here. Nah, it's too steep. Maybe. Hmm. I don't know. But yeah, I think this looks a little precarious. Maybe from maybe that. But yeah, I'll definitely do a video on this because I know you requested that, and but yeah, yeah, I'll have to spend some time looking at it. But I think that this, just like looking at it very briefly, just to start, this does look like it's potentially a bear flag, and the RSI. Like, just think about it. Like this drop here. So I see your comment, Jay. I'll look at that in just 1 second. But just, you think about it. This is to the lows here. That's a nearly 20% drop, and it's still not oversold. It's still, the RSI after that was 37 after that huge drop, and that took place over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a week. So you see this huge drop. The RSI is not, it has more to go, I would say. Um, like, yeah, and it's so close to the low here, 820, that, it just needs to go a little bit lower, and then it's like really dropping off a cliff as far as there just not being any other volume over there. I guess you could maybe like this line right here is, like this is an inverse head and shoulders. But I think that you kind of have, break of it here, and it doesn't look like it, made it. So yeah, I think that looks like a bear flag. So I don't feel too great about this one. Yeah, and then also with the all-time low is 681. So yeah, I mean, if this does break, it could go pretty. It has a lot of room to fall. And so I see your comment, Jay. A lot of stocks. I'm looking at waiting till around after February to see if the market comes down a little bit, including PayPal. What are your thoughts on PayPal? Yeah, so I just put the video out on PayPal, and I can go over that a little bit here. Let's see. Yeah, so I got all these lines. I feel like I have too many lines here. Yeah, so what I see is that it is, retesting these two levels. I also think I saw somebody on that I think TrendSpider posted this on Twitter, that it's been really just like the entire time it's been in this wedge, it's had a hard time getting above the 200 day moving average, and it's just below that now. So I mean, how many times has it tested that level? 1, 2, 3. This would be the fourth time. So maybe this is the time that it breaks out. But yeah, I mean, you have this level that's going to hold it down, and the orange, it's been resistance going back to middle of August 2022, and there have really been just like a little bit of a breakout here, but that lasted 2 days, and this level had served as resistance and support, and then resistance over here at the level we're currently at. It seems like there's a lot of price action, even above the current price, going up to about $64. And then there are these two gaps to the downside. And one thing I don't think I mentioned it in the video. I realize, I need to get in the habit of checking this before I make videos now. But earnings is coming up. So this is on February 7th. And so what I plan on doing, I don't hold PayPal, and usually I feel like most of the stocks I talk about are probably, pretty cheap. And for me personally, I don't really buy too many stocks that are above $20, just because it's much easier to accumulate to 100 shares if it's cheaper. And then once you have 100 shares, you can sell covered calls. And so something like PayPal, I wouldn't be able to accumulate 100 shares with it. So I tend to avoid stocks that are, at this price level. But I have to say, I'm really intrigued by PayPal, because it seems like there's a potential for it to break out of this wedge. But there are these two gaps to the downside. 200-day moving average is right there. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like it's just at a point where there's a lot of resistance at or just above current price, with these two trend lines, the 200-day moving average, and then these two gaps to the downside. With earnings, though, what's going to happen with earnings? Here in the last earnings, that was a bottom. Price went up. And I think, yeah, I feel like there's been so much, buy now, pay later, stuff like that. I wonder how, and we could actually look at a firm, and maybe that would give some idea of what might be happening with PayPal around earnings. Um, but yeah, for me, like I don't hold any PayPal. I'm intrigued to get some, but for me it would be like buy one share, wait and see, and I'm just gonna remove the. Actually, I'll leave the earnings up there in case we're looking at other stuff. Might be nice to have. Remove the moving averages though. But yeah, so I'm thinking. I'm really curious to see what happens over the course of next week. I forgot to mention this in the video on PayPal, but next week's only 4 days of trading, and usually when there is a shortened week, there's less volume traded, and I don't think that you typically get big breakout moves. And so I'm really curious to see where this is at after next week. And if it's still consolidating around here, it looks like it's, still got some potential to break out. I might pick up a share, but with the expectation that if it's still right around these levels, I mean, if by earnings it's still below this yellow line, it's still below the moving average, the 200-day moving average, and potentially having the 21-day moving average above it at that point, if it's definitely if it's below the orange level, then I think it's going to go down with earnings. And so what I might do is, if I get a share at the end of next week, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to see what happens following earnings. But right before earnings is on the 7th, which is a Wednesday. I'm not sure if it's before or after hours, but I might, if I do have a share, I might hedge that with buying a put that expires on the Friday. And I think right now, like if we look at, so that's for the 9th, if we look at options for that Friday, and thinking about where this might go to based on these two levels, like the highest gap to fill is around $55. So looking at an options contract, put that is for $55 expiring February 9th. Buying that is around $88. That's more than a share, the price of a share. So I don't really want to risk that amount of money for an expiration that's coming up right after earnings. But I imagine that if price is still around where it's at, right around $60, I might, maybe this is $5 or $10 or something. I might buy a put just before earnings if it is below these levels, just to hedge the share that I have. And then if it drops, then it's like, great, I make money on that put and I can buy more shares for cheaper. And also just trying to practice getting better with options, because basically I tend to, I'll make some money on one options play, and then I'll get confident, and then it's like, oh, I'm going to do this more often, and then I open up a number of options contracts and I lose money on those, and it ends up being a net negative. But this, I think, this is very intriguing, but it is also, like buying options right before earnings is just like gambling, but it's like, I'll see what happens. But yeah, new CEO in charge. Hard to say where their earnings will be. Yeah, that's that. I remember reading about that. I think I had made a video that went over some. I think it's the one where I mentioned that they have stable coin. I had looked up that there was a new CEO, but I don't think I mentioned it in the going into the details of the company. But yeah, that is a little bit of a concern. And also, I feel like after the holiday season, people's spending, it tends to tighten. And so and actually we could look at what happened last year. So this is like the Santa Claus rally, the end of October going up to this red candle was on the last day of the year. And so we could look at what happened. Let's see, when is this? It's the middle of the year, rallied up to August. And then here, where's this? This is the end of 2022. So oddly, this went down before Christmas. The Santa Claus rally was an anti-Santa Claus rally. I guess it was early November up to here, and then it came down. I guess that was also not really necessarily a Santa Claus rally, but really just earnings going up from that. But yeah, I think this is really interesting to be paying attention to before earnings, because if it's still below these levels, I think it's going to tank following earnings. Do you think is that as a question on ChargePoint? The heart emoji is blocking. Yeah, ChargePoint. Do I think it will go below 190? Let's see. I haven't looked at this in a while. No, I don't think it will go much lower than 190. I would say, I mean, RSI could go lower. It's at 36.13. But yeah, I mean, I think the big reason why I don't think it will go much lower is, let's see, I gotta look up Max Pain. Just because ChargePoint, all of the Max Pains, I believe, so for next, this coming Friday, which is a monthly contract, it's $350, so notably higher than current price. I don't think price is going up that high. I think it's just because it's monthly and it was probably those contracts were purchased when price was much higher. So if we go to the following week, January 26th, $250. And then the next one, I think this is going to be $2. Yeah, $2. And let's see. $2. I mean, I'd expect to see 150 if I thought it was going to bleed more. 250. Yeah, this going this far into the future just becomes kind of hand wavy. $2. $7. This has to be monthly. Yeah, for the middle of the month. So I don't think it's, yeah, these are all just monthly following that. $2. So yeah, I think that, like, we could actually look at the options chain, though, to see if there are, like, what's the lowest. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that there isn't a max pain of 150 in there, I don't think it's, like, nobody's betting. Bears are not betting that it's going down to 150. They've been betting that it's going to go down to 2. Oops. So, yeah, I think that really, let's see, the lowest. So this is the lowest close. That's right around 186. Let's do just, lowest candle, bit of the candle, which is the open this day. That's, what is the price there? The open, let's see, 184. Okay, so that's the level there. And so I think, we just don't want to see closes below 184. If we do, then it's like we're looking for, are we getting a lower low? That if it goes below 184 and closes below that, or even, if it doesn't close below that, we just want to see, are we getting a lower low? Hopefully not. And then, if we are able to hold around this level, then we're getting a double bottom. And actually, I might look at this on the weekly to see if... Yeah, so, I mean, this past week, it went down almost 15%. Yeah, and then if we look at, like, the RS, like, this is the weekly, but the RSI had definitely, like, it continued down to 2257. So there's definitely more room for that to go down. But I do think it could be finding a bottom. Yeah, just looking at max pains, I think that, like I said in a earlier ChargePoint video, I think that any prices below 250 is a steal. It's possible that This 3, when it came up to here, it's going to take a little bit longer to get back up to those levels. But, if we look at like the volume profile, yeah, like getting up to, this is around like the bottom of this shelf. It's right around 240. Yeah, I've got this line at 242. So I think, yeah, you can see that shelf right there. So I think that getting back to 250 is going to be tough, but I think it's going to be trading within a range, ideally no lower than 184, but basically between 180 and 240 for a little while. But yeah, I mean, if it does break above like this shelf here, if it gets above $2, gets back above $2, $2.06, there's all of this consolidation that happened over here. And that would serve as support. And yeah, so I don't think it's going much lower than 190. AQST, yeah, I'm stoked about that. I was getting comments on it on YouTube and Twitter. I'm not sure if it's the same person. Mac Attack is the person on Twitter. And yeah, I shared a video. This guy, Stocks Wizard, went over the due diligence of it. So I'm not doing a video on that just because that guy covered everything and he did way better job than I could. But yeah, just the chart is, it's like sometimes I look at charts and it's like I have to like really dig to see what's going on. But this one, it just like popped out. And, I was thinking last week, I was like, oh man, I got rejected from the neckline like the day after I made that video. And, I'm thinking it's great though that I had mentioned these levels because like 250, great buying opportunity with the, price being above that now. But I was just thinking, yeah, but did it get rejected from the neckline? And now this inverse head and shoulders is, not going to play out. But then looking at the weekly time frame, this is just like such a beautiful head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. So yeah, and with the news coming up in, I think, the end of April, FDA decision, I think that this, like, I think buying it now, any of the price action over the last week, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but it just seems very obvious that it's going up to $4. That being a psychological level, potential news, good news in April. And really, I mean, even if it's bad news in April, that is just like, there's rumor that this company is going to get approval from the FDA. And people buy that rumor all the way up to $4. And then maybe it gets rejected. So I think that, with any biopharmaceutical company, if you're waiting on an FDA decision, it's possible that decision's going to tank the stock. It's possible that decision's going to bankrupt the company. I don't think that will happen with this. I think that this is a really promising company. But yeah, I think of everything that I've gone over in the charts, all of the videos that I've made, I have not been putting as much money where my mouth is with this one, whereas I have with some other stocks that I've gone over. This is the one I'm most confident in. This is where I should be. I should have had limit orders for, 250 and just really stack there. I think my average now is like 252. But yeah, I hope to add more next week. Hopefully we get a little bit more. Yeah, let's see if we look at the weekly, this is, the way that it tested the neckline here. It was just, one wick up and then pull back. And so with this, I don't even know if we'll get back to 250. So yeah, that video is timed pretty perfectly. And yeah, I think that this is going to be a great performer. I'm stoked about it. Is that PGY? Pagaya Technologies. Yeah, this looks like, I mean, a couple of things. I feel like maybe this is, it doesn't really, it didn't come back to the neckline, so, I mean, but maybe this is like a little gimp shoulder or something. So that looks a little bearish, but also, this could be a falling wedge. Now, let's say from here to there. It doesn't look that great, but this is all also, yeah, I mean, because what you could draw is, let's see, line here, going through the low of this day. And this is the weekly chart too, so the weekly close was below that. I should look at this on the daily. Yeah, so it definitely looks like a little gimpy shoulder. But this, yeah, I think this looks bad. Because you've got, yeah, look at that. This is the gimpy shoulder, I guess. And actually, maybe I'll do this with a parallel. I don't use the parallel tool that much just because it extends both ways, and I think it's ugly. But, yeah, I mean, I connect it here, maybe up to this point. Yeah, and yeah, it's broken below. I don't think this looks good. Yeah, $1. What is it listed on the NASDAQ? Yeah, so $1 is kind of a significant level. And I feel like, if a stock is testing $1, like I think Fisker is right now. Fisker, I think, is New York Stock Exchange. I don't know what their rules are as far as holding $1. But on the NASDAQ, if there's 30 trading days closing below $1, then it gets 180 calendar days to regain compliance, closing above $1. Otherwise, it has to potentially do a reverse split, something like that. So yeah, this to me, I mean, maybe this is like the wedge pattern and it breaks to the upside, but even like, yeah, this just looks, there's no break in this like downtrend here. It's just, so let's see. Yeah, that's just, it's a plummeting down. So, yeah, I mean, I think at this point, with the, yeah, it's like what happened yesterday or on Friday. Right. Yeah, so they had, this was the beginning of the year sale report of, let's see what this says. Press release. Pagaya Technologies report of proposed sale of securities. And so that's on January 2nd. And so that is, it was already going down. And then they're selling, and it's just going down even more. And yeah, I mean, this is like, yeah, let's look at the volume shelf. Yeah, it's below like this notable level of, like, as far as I can take this back without distorting y-axis. Yeah, it's below this volume shelf now. There's all of this consolidation here just before it, and yeah, and also, I mean, you have this had served as support back there, and that is, I need to color some of these. I can't believe I put all these lines in the chart already. I just started looking at it. Yes, I mean, it's below that red line. That's served as support here, as well as here. Kind of a false break there. Support over here. Resistance there. Resistance. So yeah, I mean, where this served as resistance, that's like, there's not much volume traded above it, so it's not as big of a deal. But where it has served as support, and there's all of this price action above it, it's going to be hard to break above. So, yeah, I guess, what are my thoughts? Where might it go to? What's the level it might go to? I mean, it's at $1. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look too good. Yeah, I mean, really just like 80 cents or so. This is 78 is the low. Um, yeah, so I guess from like this current price, actually, you do see this. This is where I think it might go to, because you do see this like consolidation here. That's gonna serve as support. Where basically, yeah, and this even actually goes back to over here. You got all of these touch points throughout this time frame. And then I'll make that yellow. And then, yeah, so I mean, that's like 94, 95 cents. So I think this could go lower, but yeah, and then if it does break below 94, I think it's going to go down to 78 or like 80 and test that. Yeah, so I mean, I could see this as an ugly head and shoulders. And then let's do the measurement of that. I find this to be really interesting. I didn't used to do this too much, but I find it to be very helpful. So yeah, this is going to be disgusting. And actually, I'm probably, rather than doing it from the top of the wick, let's do it from, let's see, I'll just do it from here, being a little bit conservative with, open on this day. So it's, a lot of prices going up there. Maybe this is what we should be looking at. And then so this from here, oh, well, breaking the neckline. So that's, it's already done that. And that would bring the price to negative. So, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look too good. And if it does go down a lot more, then it'd probably have to do a reverse split. And so, yeah. So I don't feel too good about this one. Oh, and I thought I put it on DGen Ed. Yeah, any other ticker requests? But yeah, and, I don't know who asked about ChargePoint. Nameless, would you like another video on ChargePoint, or did I sum it up here pretty good? I'm trying to pay attention to the videos that get a lot of views. And I think that, unfortunately, it seems to just correspond with like the volatility of the stock. If, it plummets a bunch or if it shoots up a bunch, people are going to search for it. But here, I mean, it's just been, let's see, a slow bleed down here. And I could actually extend this to the green one, I think. Yeah, so this is actually, maybe this would be nice to go over in a video. I mean, because I'm holding ChargePoint, so I believe in it. So I like making videos on it, but then it's like, well, do I want to, basically a video takes me like an hour to put together. Do I want to spend the hour doing something that'll get like less than 100 views in the first day or more? And so I've noticed that ChargePoint, it's really just like, I think, yeah, I made a video when, it went up and then came down, and those were pretty popular. Cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, I do think it is this, looking at this channel, and this is one of the things that I like. I think it's nice to control, where the top and bottoms of these channels are, which I could do with a parallel tool. But this channel is based on, I believe, like one standard deviation based on the close. So like looking at this, I would think, I don't want to include this green candle, but the close was up here. The close for this red candle was within that channel. And so I think that is, a nice representative way. If I pull it back to, let's see. I didn't lock it, I don't think. Oh, I did lock it. Crazy. I pull it to there. It just gets a little tighter. It's not as, yeah, I think that's a good channel. And so, what we want to see is basically if we got a retest of 222 and then it bounced to $2, if it came back to $2, that would be, a breakout of this channel, a retest of it, and then continuation. So, yeah, I mean, looking at the options or the Max Pain for charge point. Let's see. The most recent one, I think this is 350. Yeah, so 350, that's not happening for next week, especially with it being a holiday week. 250. Yeah, so maybe, if this were to go up to 250, or if it were to even just, be green, going up to 220, just going above $2, that's enough to break out of this channel and then retest it. And then, so let's see, 250 for not this coming Friday, but the Friday after. Then I think it comes back to 2. And that is actually not a bad thing, because if it goes up to 250 and then pulls back to 2, that's a retest, confirmation of that downtrend. And then if the next week is 250, $2 still, so maybe it takes a little while to, confirm there. The week after, this is, 250, which is the monthly contract, so I don't know how much weight we can put on that. And then 250 the week after. So, yeah, I think that, over the course of the next month, we will see it struggle to get back above 250. But I think in that process, it will be confirming a breakout. Because, if it just goes up, then, it's then it could go back down to where it was before. And so if it breaks out, comes back, tests it, then it's okay, now you got support there. You have all of the consolidation from it going up and back down. That's going to then serve as support to where the breakout is the high. And then it can continue with that new level acting as support. So maybe I can draw it. I'm not... let's see. Yeah, I could do polyline. So I'll do this as a thick, let's see, purple line. So yeah, if it goes from here and then up to, let's say, this level, gets rejected, but then comes back down and then bounces, whatever price it is, that would basically be bouncing off that downtrend. Then it could continue higher. And then if, let's say, it gets rejected at $3 again, or maybe, this volume shelf that's right here, maybe it gets rejected there. Then if it were to pull back, it'd probably pull back to around 240, because you have all of this consolidation from this move. This is like creating a brick wall, it's not going to be able to come back down. And then it would come back like this, and then it could continue higher. So I could see it doing something like this. Oops. Oh, man. I didn't know how to end that drawing. But yeah, I'm actually going to draw that again. I find that compelling. And then I could do, so it's goes up to here. And I could actually time this out based on Max Pains. That might be kind of interesting. Come back to here, break out, and then... Oh, man. I don't know how to end this. Maybe I just have to... Yeah. Why was that so painful? I don't really draw too much with the tools here because they always get screwy with ending it. Oops. But yeah, I could see that being the future, and so that would be this is over the course of days. I need a much longer time frame. But yeah, I could draw something like that based on Max Pains to get an idea of what a breakout would look like, but I don't think it's going lower. Oh, and one thing, I'm probably not going to do a video on this. Um, I don't know if you guys are into buy or, it's one that I'm really interested in. I'm really proud of myself for a trade that I did earlier with this. That I was holding the bag and I saw, oh, it looks like it's potentially breaking out of this channel. This is daily candles, but then it closes like at the channel. It doesn't look like it's that strong. When it gets up to this level 265, I think I had an alert, and then it pulled back in. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, maybe it's going to retest that. Closes weekly outside of that channel. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I think it's going to come back in. And so I offloaded a good amount of shares at a loss, but at 265. And, that's the last time we've seen that price. And so I've been able to buy back those shares and around this level, I think between 130 and lower, buy back all of those shares that I had sold after 30 days. So I avoided the wash sale, which is 30 days after you sell at a loss. If you wait that amount of time, then you don't have to, if you buy, so if I sell here at a loss, but then buy back lower here, if it's less than 30 days, I don't get to claim that loss in taxes. I don't get a tax break. But if I wait 30 days, then it's like, yeah, I mean, I lost money on that, but then was able to buy back my shares for cheaper, getting my average lower, and then I can take a break on the taxes that, I lost however much money. When really I just repositioned that money. I didn't really lose money, or at least, I don't really think of it like that. But yeah, this has been really interesting. It's just it's grinding down. It's not really doing anything that crazy, but it's just been testing this channel, which, maybe it could be adjusted, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, and even looking at it here, this breakout was much stronger than this little wimpy hammer candle on the edge there. But that is, let's look at the weekly. A weekly, that just screws up that channel because I drew it based on the daily. But yeah, I mean, this is Bioware doesn't typically get that many views unless it's the FDA approval stuff. There's a lot of volatility. But when I've been doing the weekly updates, it's not been that great of a performer, which bums me out because I think it's a really interesting company, just like Aquestive. And it's possible maybe I will do a combo video of Biora and Aquestive, just given that they're both cheap pharmaceutical companies awaiting FDA approval, just going through that process. Yeah, so I think I might, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do a video on Biora before trading starts on Tuesday, but yeah, tomorrow I think I'm going to do a video on Palantir. And I think SoFi, usually that's a pretty popular one that's recently viewed. Go to DGen Ed. Let's see, SoFi. What's SoFi doing? Where is it? My alphabet skills right here. Yeah, I guess I did just do a video on this. It did hold this level at 788, but it does look like that's kind of the last line before it dropped to 750. Yeah, so yeah, I actually started working on, I can pull up the, let's see. I need to, let's see. I'll pull up the PowerPoint I started working on for it. But yeah, I don't know how soon I'll get to this. But yeah, I just started reading this book, The Psychology of Money. I just finished it. Oops, this is not what I want, sorry. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, I started reading this and I started putting a PowerPoint together and yeah, I going over the table of contents, and I'm not going to go chapter by chapter, but just it's basically a series of short stories related to stock market, related to business, just managing money, things like that, inflation, generations, how, it's like depending on when you were born, the stock market was doing different things, inflation was doing different things. And so, it's really just like, uh, every generation, is has kind of a different mindset. Their experience is a little bit different. And a lot of that can be tied to, the economy and, money and psychology of money. And yeah, so I think there are a lot of really cool lessons in this. So I've started to go through some of them and I need a little bit more time to do it. Hopefully I'll do it before I go back to work on Thursday. I'm sure I'll have it out by then. Um, oops. But yeah, I plan on doing that. And then I got another book, which, in all honesty, doesn't look as good as the one that I just read. It looks a little more, not like text heavy is bad, but just more dense. And yeah, so I'll start reading that one, and I'll try to do a new, book club entry, book review every month. And so that will be good for me to be reading more. And also, all of the books will be related to finance, stock market, money management, technical analysis. And so just, improving, my approach to the markets. And then also, some of the books, like this one that I just read, The Psychology of Money, I recommend it. It's a very easy read, especially if you like history, if you like short stories, it's very nice. But then the other one, I think it's One Up on Wall Street by, I forget his name, famous investor. And seems like a really nice guy too, from interviews I've seen of him. I forget his name. But the book is One Up on Wall Street. Doesn't look as appealing as The Psychology of Money. But I'll start reading that next. And in February, I'll try to do a review on that one and just keep the ball rolling with them. I do want to start reading, it's like a book, a 3-book series that basically the initial part of it is just kind of like general technical analysis in the stock market and trading generally. And then the second book gets more into Wyckoff theory and using that approach. And then the third book gets really heavy into Wyckoff analysis. And so I would be really interested to get better at that, because that's really just like, I feel like a deep analysis of the psychology of the charts and, why you see, massive, like a big dip, the lowest low here before you see this run up. And so yeah, I'm really interested to get onto that book series. But yeah, I'll do my best to have the book review out by Wednesday, and I think that's pretty reasonable. And it'll probably just be like a casual, I'd say 10-minute or less video of me just sharing my thoughts on it, going over some chapters, some of the lessons in it, in casual detail. I'm not going to get into too much of the nitty-gritty, but just like the moral of this story and how it relates to, how I want to become a better trader, and just thinking about not only the psychology of money, but just the markets. And I actually find that a lot of people tend to not really think too critically about like the psychology of money. Like, for example, like I have a number of friends who have never taken on credit card debt. And it's like something, or, when they do, they're very afraid of it. And, it's like there's just a psychology of that. And, for me, I've been in debt many times. I'm currently in debt. But I strategically in debt because I was getting offers for 0% APR and rewards. So I took on a bunch of debt to have, basically to accumulate cash. And then, now I'm maxed out. And so I'm paying off that debt. But it's just like so many people would just be afraid of the idea of picking up debt, unless it's, for an auto payment or something like that. But credit card debt can be really daunting for people. But there's, I think a lot of psychology in that, which this stuff isn't really covered in the book, but how, your credit score can kind of dictate, how much credit you have. And that's a way of, like, for me, I've taken advantage of debt because it gives me the access to have cash. and then I get rewards, and I don't have zero APR until a certain date, which is coming up this year, starting in May and then through October. And so, now I have the challenge of, can I manage that debt well enough to pay it off before I start having interest payments? And yeah, I mean, I think that's like, to me, that's like a game. I want to beat the system. I want to take advantage of credit card companies by, like, I made from that $1,000 from rewards at least, and then I did it too late, but I put some of that cash into savings that was high interest, and so it's like, why just spend money when you can take on debt and then make money with that debt and then pay it off? And that's really, like, like how, like, Elon Musk is able to, it's like he's the richest person in the world, but he doesn't have to pay taxes because all of his wealth is, in stock, and he takes out loans on that, and so that's debt. And yeah, so like all of the billionaires, all of the wealthiest people, the reason why they get around taxes and things like that is because they utilize debt. And I feel like lower class, middle class people, which I fall into that category, don't, take full advantage of debt, and or they're restricted by credit scores, things like that. So yeah, I just think that money charts, I think it's really interesting. Like, I'm a numbers oriented person. But yeah, so I'll definitely do that book review. Yeah, kind of a tangent there. But yeah, if there are any last minute tickers you'd like me to go over, I've been doing this for about an hour and 17 minutes. I did get a little bit of a late start. I'm actually curious about Snap. I had when it got up to here, I got some puts on it on Snap, and made a little bit of money. It's like, I think it was like $16 for a put for like a strike down here. And it's like, okay, or no, I think it was $13. And it's like, okay, it went up to $16. I'll take that profit. And it's like, okay, it's back at 13. I'll buy it, sell it again at 16. But yeah, here, this looks like double top. So this could be going down, notably. Yeah, and also this too. I mean, this kind of reminds me of Square. I'm actually gonna adjust these so we don't have the white lines on them. I find it a little easier to look at. But yeah, if we look at this and take a measurement from the bottom, so we can do it from here, that is, 100%. So this very much so reminds me of Block, or Square, in that it just had this kind of straight shot going up. And so with that, you look at this, where it's at right now, it's at the base of this volume shelf, and then it's just like this cliff down. You don't get the same amount of volume that is had until you hit, $11. There is this gap here. Yeah, this is intriguing. I want to see, and actually earnings coming up in a couple, I guess 3 weeks. Yeah, I could see this coming down to fill this gap and that's also the fib retracement, 50%. Let's see. Earnings. So maybe, yeah, good to not hold options through earnings, but that's like February, let's see, February 6th. So that's on a Tuesday, I believe. So where do I think that might go? Fill this gap, that would be $13. So what's a put? $13 strike with the February 16th expiration. $32 to buy. Yeah. What's the open interest on that? not very high. Yeah, but anyways, I tend to lose money on options, but it's, just kind of like a mindset to have. It's like here, this is the top. You buy a put, but then it stagnates. And so market makers are making money off those people who buy puts here because, oh, it's went so high, it's going to tank now. But then this kills the theta, the time decay of the options contract. And so that decreases in value and price doesn't go down and then it expires worthless. But here, with having a double top, lower high, and then let's see the highest open. So I mean, or the highest close is this one. But yeah, if we look at this on the weekly time frame, how does that look? Actually, it's possible. Oops, I don't want a pitchfork. That this is. I mean, we could draw it from this one maybe. Yeah, so from here, got that channel. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's bullish consolidation, but it just seems to me like there's this. Yeah, this is getting, let's see, yeah, where's the RSI? The RSI, I mean, maybe it could run up once more, and then let's see what, like here, what happened, because it did take a while to fade. And so this, well, that was earnings and it dropped. And so that didn't get, yeah, so I'm really intrigued by this. I don't own any shares or I don't have any options contracts with it right now. But yeah, just intrigued by it. I want to get better at options. And I feel like the way to get better at options is like try it and fail and learn from your mistakes. Failing costs money. But yeah, but that's how, like, I don't know if you guys follow Unusual Whales, but all of the trades that occur with that, it's just like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars getting multiplied by basically insiders knowing, whether that's politicians or others who have some information. You're not just going to make a long-term bet on something without having some info on it, because with options you could lose all of your money. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm intrigued by this, but I'd probably just. I think I need to let some. Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I can't take that away. It's true. But yeah, I mean, if 3 people are watching, I might, if I'm not getting recommendations, I might just poke through this list and see. Actually, and one thing that I just was looking at, let's see, Rocket Lab. That was requested video. Yeah, I don't see too much going on with this. This looks like, figs. What is figs? Direct-to-consumer healthcare apparel and lifestyle brand. Yeah, that looks like a bear flag. Because all this moves down. And also just thinking, too, like, with everybody having to spend so much money on the holidays and just, like, possibly the economy turning around, not looking so great. Yeah, I mean, I guess that does look like it's. I mean, the reason why it goes on the opens. So these opens are. Yes, it's downtrending, but really, I mean, you have all price here within this range, and it does look like volume's generally decreasing. And, RSI is above 30. There's this gap here. Yeah, so this, it doesn't look too great. Yeah, I feel like, excuse me, a really tough thing with identifying whether or not something's a bear flag, or if it's like I think with Nikola, it's had some sideways consolidation before a move up. And I think that's because, the difference is that sideways consolidation is above support. Whereas here, you got this volume shelf, and that's where price is at. Like, it's not, like, this shelf isn't below it. Um, so, yeah, and there's this gap down here. So I would be reluctant with this. I think it might go down. Oh, yeah, this, I don't know, I forget who mentioned this in one of the streams, but I have an order placed on this, which I expect I'm going to lose my money. But I placed a limit order I was going to do 17 cents, but I made it 16.50 because, it's quite possible we get another test of that level. But yeah, and then I think I'd sell at around, I don't know, 21 or 20. Actually, no, I mean, that's like where this would break out. So could, go up to like where this shelf is. Let's see right here. Yeah. $22 or maybe, or sorry, not $22, 22 cents, or maybe just 20. Well, 20 is not even really taking full advantage of that. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big swing. So yeah, and then it's also, potential for it to just keep going down. So I find this to be interesting. It's like, a degen ed, I'm not really a degenerate. I, just like going over charts, but, occasionally it's fun to do something where it's like total gambling, and this is total gambling. So might as well, got to earn the name. And so that'd be, 100 shares at 16.5 cents, so $16.50. If I lose that, or if it goes down, drops to another level, it's like, okay, I'm not going to hold on to this for it to drop even more, like what happened here. This is like, oh, it just ran up. Okay, I'm going to buy it, wait for it to go up more, and then it just comes down and it's never going to return. And so this, it's like, this came to a new level, hasn't really run up. This is over the course of like 6 trading days, which is not too dissimilar to the, actually I guess this is longer. But yeah, it's a bad idea, but I'm intrigued by it. I'll probably, if the order is not filled 16.50 by Thursday, then I'm going to close it and not buy it. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are into crypto at all. I was before, and basically lost some money with it. Like made a little bit, but lost more. And now I have a hardware wallet and stuff, so I'm much better with it. But I like Doge and Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic, this is I could have trimmed the position that I had up here, but it's like I'm just gonna wait because like going from where it's at currently, even from the high here up to the top here, it's a 435% increase. Doge, just from here to the top, almost 600% increase. And then like with Bitcoin, which I believe in much more than these other two, but yeah, it's like going from the high that we just recently had and then going back up to this, that's an increase of 40%. So it's like, I mean, I want to be accumulating Bitcoin over the course of my life to basically have as like retirement money. But Doge and Ethereum Classic, both easy to move, both low fees. And there's just so much upside with them. So yeah, for me, I just, I buy them using Robinhood because it's easy. And then, once I do, $10 for each every weekend. And right now I haven't bought any because they both went up a little bit. And yeah, I'm just like, my philosophy is like every week, I'll put, basically $20 into the account. It's not a lot of money, but over time that will accumulate. If these do go back down, great, $10 a week, no big deal. And then if they do run up, I think Doge is going to go to $1 a share, a coin at least. And so that's from this price, that's more than 10x. So, yeah, I'm stoked about these, and I think that it's really exciting what's happening with the Bitcoin ETFs as far as just the adoption of crypto. Coinbase, man, yeah, I made a video. It's so funny. I made a video on is it time to short Robinhood and Coinbase, and somebody was like, yeah, go get wrecked. You don't want to be shorting anything crypto related during a the halving year. And look at what happened. I was not shorting Coinbase, but we were just talking about bear flags. I could do it from here, I think. Oh, no, I want to do it from here. Oh, I got ahead of myself. I want to do it from this one. Yeah, and this is it's not uptrending. It doesn't look like it from this channel. But yeah, it's like sideways consolidation. That's a bear flag, and then a break lower, and it hit this level that I had marked. I went over in that video. I feel like I need to brag about that video. And then also too, looking at this, it does look like it's not very pretty. But maybe there's this ugly head and shoulders, a shoulder here, head, shoulder. And so if we take a measured move from here to here, the neckline, move that down to here, that is, a drop to $100 a share. And that's just a psychological level. There has to be some, a little bit of support here. But yeah, if it goes to that level, though, there's just this little blip here. I think that it would continue down to 85. Let's look at Hood. I think I sold them all. I had some puts on Hood. And I think I exited just because, I was buying puts on Hood after it broke out of this level. I was early. That sucks with options. If you're early, you lose money. But yeah, this to me looks like it's kind of an ugly. It doesn't really connect over here. Yeah, maybe this is it. And there's the head, shoulder. And so this from the high here to the neckline, and then coming down. Yeah, I think, I was buying puts. Maybe if it, yeah, that's a tough thing, because it's, it's like you're early and then you start losing money and then you lose conviction and then, yeah, I don't think I have. I'm going to check my account. I don't think I have any more puts. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I got rid of it. I lost my conviction. But yeah, I was buying them with the strike of $9. This measured move here, not $9, but that's enough. Yeah, and where it's at now, I guess, yeah, coming down to this gap, there'd be potential support there. But yeah, you don't want to be long on things forever because they're eventually going to find tops. And this also found, yeah, man, I need to promote that video because it was spot on. Yeah, proud of myself. Some of the videos I'm proud of myself. Other ones I try to forget about. GameStop. Oh, yeah, I need to make an update on this. I'm disappointed I didn't notice this double top, or I didn't call it out. But, I think that GameStop's going to be finding a bottom soon, and we'll be going up. But yeah, I only see one person still watching. If you have a ticker request, happy to take it. If you're enjoying me just rambling about stuff, let me know in the chat, and I can just go over whatever stands out to me. Clover Health. Man. Yeah, I think I made a video about this going up to around $1, and it went up around that level. It still hasn't filled this gap, though. But I was thinking, this is just... I've covered smaller market caps, but I was just thinking this is a little... maybe I don't want to be covering it. Chewy. I think I recently covered that. Chegg. Yeah, I remember around this earnings I made a video, and I didn't follow up on it, and I should have said, oh, maybe this is an opportunity to buy the dip. Beyond this one, that gap is filled. So yeah, where might this find support? I think it might find support around $7. So I'm going to create an alert at $7. So I don't have to think about it until it gets down to there. And if it does, I think it might find support. Bionanogenomics, wow. This doesn't look so good. Yeah, I made some videos on this. I think probably the last one was around this time. No, actually, it's been a long time since I made one. But yeah, I don't know when I drew this channel. But yeah, glad I'm not going on about how it's a good buy or something. Alibaba was a pretty popular video. Does look like it might have put in another bottom here. Yeah, let's see. Weekly time frame. But yeah, like I want to do a follow-up on this if it's popular. ARC X, this had a pretty big pullback. Does look like, it's in this volume shelf, so maybe it will find support there. Alaska Airlines. Wow, this was such a cool one to see that it, came down to fill this gap and then went up, filling the gaps it created on the downside, and then now it's coming back. And like, I was going to mention Affirm. Yeah, this looks like it's a bear flag. This looks like it's going to break lower. And so, yeah, this to me makes me think, yeah, so this has been really strong. How has PayPal been since basically the beginning of November? Beginning of November. Yeah, so it's like, I think that PayPal, unfortunately, I know there are a lot of people who watch the channel who are PayPal bulls. I think with this convergence of all of this resistance, earnings coming up, and companies like Affirm looking like, pretty similar in just this massive run. Yeah, like what's the, because Affirm, let's see what kind of upside this was. It's ridiculous. 225%. That is overdue for a pullback. PayPal, this run up was only 27%. Wow. So that's a little more manageable. Let's see, Nokia. I saw that it plummeted here, and I think I bought one share and I sold it like a couple days later. But I was thinking, I just hold on to it for this gap to fill. That's kind of more of the style of trading that I'm doing now. Is I'll just buy one share of something that I cover on the channel, thinking like, oh, maybe it'll go up. And I just kind of forget about stuff. Let's see. Yeah, Block. I just mentioned this. Oh yeah, I was thinking that this might be nice to buy a put on, but there's so many like financial sector stocks that have this, really long extended uptrend and then a breakdown. So maybe I should do a video on the like financial sector's bear flags. Let's see what JP Morgan looks like. Yeah, I mean, this is, what kind of run up is this? 30%, so it's not crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's just a straight line up. Let's see, Citigroup, similar. This looks like it's breaking down. I think Ally is one. Yeah, this looks like that these are gonna be risky. Excuse me. Recently viewed. Go back to this list. Yeah, I'm interested. Ooh, wow, 2 days. Dang. Yeah, I was thinking about buying puts on, or no, buying, I think, Biti, BITI, which is short Bitcoin. Um, but I didn't buy them, or I didn't buy it. It didn't hit the price I was looking for. But I was thinking, with ETFs, you have to pay a fee for them usually, and I was thinking, well, actually, Mara might be better. But yeah, it's just retraced to this line that I've drawn. It's nice when lines that I draw end up seeming like they're relevant. Um, yeah, maybe this is, breakout retest of this level and then continue higher for Mobileye, Matterport. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I want it to do well. I want it to go up, but it might not. Nike, this has had a nice little bounce. After this drop, I had bought a call, and I think I bought a few calls, thinking that, hey, might as well, it might go up. And I think they're dated to like middle of February or so. I'll probably lose money on them. But now it's like starting to turn around. And so it's, always, you want to wait for options. You want to wait for confirmations and things. Neo. I have an order for, I think, 2 shares. I think I have 2 or 3 shares. I have another order for, I think, 2 shares at $7. So not very exciting, small plays, but thinking that $7 might serve as support. And if it doesn't, if it breaks lower, then that's fine too. Rivian, wow. Filled that gap though, or almost filled that gap. Let's see. Oh, I had seen, I think Benjamin Poole from the Verified Investing channel, Gareth Soloway's channel. He was saying that was bullish on this, but is starting to be short, or not be short it, but be less bullish. And I think that's just because, you have this line at like $35.21, right around $35. Or actually this one right around 36, 35.87. It's just been tested so many times. Eventually it's going to break. Let's see, STEM. I feel like I've done this recently. Tesla. Wow. Where is the time to buy now? That's what everybody wants to know. Let's see. I'd say, you got this big volume shelf here. And RSI is still above 30, 31.95. So, I think this could be coming down to $200. So I will put an alert at $200. Maybe that's a good time to buy, because I have these other, this gap fill at 145, and then this low, around here, 108. So it's like, I want to wait for those. But, Tesla's like, for me, is the one that got away. I don't hold any, but it'd be nice to, because I believe in the company. Here. Yeah. Did break out, but, pulling back. But yeah, I think I might. I've been doing this for, wow, an hour and 44 minutes. That's pretty record breaking for me. I might look at this. Oh, this looks like it's breaking down. Um, hmm. But yeah, I think that I am. Oh, since there is one person watching, you should make sure you fill out the survey. I'm probably going to live stream going over schedule for the channel. Doing things like, PayPal on Saturdays, AMC on Fridays. Just try to have a schedule so I know the stocks that I need to cover. If something happens that's really volatile, cover that instead. It's a flexible schedule. But I think that would be good for just creating a routine for subscribers, for myself, and yeah, just to be improving the content of the channel. But yeah, with that being said, I think I might be signing off. It's been fun streaming, and yeah, I'll cheers to the last person who's watching. I imagine you're a subscriber, but always make sure you like the videos and whatnot. And yeah, I'll stream tomorrow at some point. Not sure when exactly. Oops, this to go away. But yeah, I'll stream at some point tomorrow just to go over the schedule. It'll probably be a pretty short stream. And then the day after tomorrow, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll do that stream tomorrow. It'll probably be short, so if you can't make it, don't worry about it. I'll make it short so other people can view it. And then on the 16th, that's my birthday, I'm going to stream from market open to market close, because why not? I have fun doing this, and yeah, I think that'd be a fun day. And so, whether or not people are joining, I'm just going to be tuned into the charts, having fun with that. And then I don't know if I'll do another, like an evening stream, but I'm thinking Sundays and Thursdays might be nice. So before the first day of the week, before the last day of the week, I might do streams like that. But yeah, I'm going to try to crank out 4 more videos tomorrow, work on the book review, and get out the schedule idea. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. It's been a lot of fun as always, and I'll have some more videos out to you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, for engaging with me on here. It's so much fun. I really enjoy it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night rest before the holiday tomorrow. And yeah, have a good start to the week.